So, Charles, I think let's start with some good news. As a reporter who's covered Haiti for years, we don't. Those are not words we usually use with Haiti, but I think you, as the governor of the Central Bank of Haiti for many, many years, as well as the former prime minister and other government officials, have a lot to brag about. Can you explain? And maybe we have to start with just what macroeconomic stability means, why it's important, and why Haiti has some of it now.
First of all, David, let me stress that it is a privilege for me to speak about Haiti in such a prestigious forum. And I want to thank the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative, and particularly President Clinton for his efforts on Haiti and the steps taken mainly in the areas of tourism, apparel manufacturing, energy, and health. I salute also Paul Farmer, I saw here, and former Prime Minister Laurent Lamotte. And in terms of macroeconomic framework, Haiti can boast a decade, basically, of stability with low inflation and relatively stable exchange rate. And positive also growth rate between 4% and 2%. And that's true. And all the time, as the governor of the central bank, and Denis, I want to thank you for your kind words about the functioning of the Central Bank of Haiti. And yes, the central bank is a strong institution, but cannot continue to be strong without a strong Haiti. We've been able to do that. And I can forget about the real economy, but I can tell you, if the real economy is not growing, long-term stability is an illusion.
And I want to get to that in a minute, but I think it's worth just lingering for a second. It is remarkable to me that Charles, I've been spending a lot of time with him in the last 2 days, and every opportunity to take some congratulations and celebration of your hard work, you just say, no, the work is not done. And I've really noted that about you, that you don't want to rest on your laurels. But let's spend 2 seconds resting on your laurels. Because if you look at Haiti's economy, the macroeconomic picture, and here we're talking about the exchange rate of the gourd to the dollar and other regional currencies. We're talking about the inflation rate internally. We're talking about overall growth. From a point you and I both think is really crucial, I think a lot of Americans, a lot of people outside of Haiti think, oh, Haiti's been a basket case for hundreds of years, maybe since the French occupation. And a point you make very powerfully is, no, that's not true. Up until around 1960, Haiti is a standard poor country, on par with Dominican Republic, Finland, Singapore. I think if we were all sitting here in 1960, there's no reason we'd pick Haiti as the one that wouldn't have the remarkable growth that some of these others have. And from 1960 to around 2007, the basic responsible activities of government, monitoring the inflation rate, the exchange rate, et cetera, were destroying. They were causing enormous damage to the economy. And you see that in incredible volatility. And at least we've gotten that problem licked. And I just think it's worth noting that's some really good news that I don't think people realize.
Yeah, that's some good news, but once again, and first of all, we saw what happened even in the US and in Europe with the 2008 crisis, when the real economy is not working. The central bank can do so much. We could achieve stability on the monetary side because of fiscal discipline. I am in front of me right now, former prime minister, and who was sometimes mad because he had to finance some projects and we couldn't find the money. But he refrained from fiscal indiscipline And we achieved what we achieved because we had some budget support, etc. My line of thinking is that, yes, Haiti has been growing, but there's nothing much to brag about as a Haitian citizen, because when I'm looking at the growth rate of Haiti, Haiti doesn't grow enough or fast enough. Because you just said it, in 1960, we had exactly the same level of GDP per capita as Dominican Republic. And the key question about Haiti is, why didn't we converge like Dominican Republic toward more growth, and why didn't we show capacity to play catch-up growth? That's the real question about Haiti.
Yeah, why?
And I would say, first of all, it's about governance, lack of consistency in public policies, and also a discounting of the necessity of a national consensus toward economic objectives. And we had so many infightings in Haiti that we forgot the real mission of government, which is national welfare. Let me draw your attention on the Haiti is the tale of two gaps. And my message today to you is that short-term stability is okay. We cannot have long-term stability without growth. And growth is the central objective. And I saw a lot of businessmen coming to Haiti. Each time you have some consensus on privatization, for instance, of the flour mill, of the cement plant. The investors, they made money. Denis O'Brien came to Haiti. He made money. And I thank Denis also for the new model that he gave in terms of corporate social responsibility. He should inspire a lot of my fellow citizens to invest much more in terms of social considerations for our people. But let's go back to the tale of the two gaps. When you look at the economy of Haiti, you have two gaps. You have the current account gap. Haiti today have a $3 billion current account deficit.
And let me just do my job as a journalist to just explain. That's basically a measure of how much money Haiti is, the money Haiti is spending on stuff outside of Haiti.
I think I can explain it
Okay,
better
you
than
can.
you.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. All right.
Because I see you going on the very slippery slope.
Okay.
I'm just teasing you. No, but first of all, you take the commercial deficit. Haiti import in terms of goods and services $4.5 billion and export 1.5. The exports of goods mainly is not $900 million, mainly in apparel manufacturing. And President Clinton, I commend you for your effort on that. With the help of Caracol, with the HOPE initiative, we went from 9,000 jobs in 2006 to 40,000 jobs today. And it's a lot. So those 3 billion gap, where does Haiti find it? First of all, we have 2 billion from the diaspora in remittances, and normally 1 billion from foreign aid. In 2010, after the earthquake, we were receiving up to $1.8 billion in foreign aid. Today, it dried up to 260,000, 260 million, which leaves us with a gap of $600, $700 million. Why? A lot of companies are suffering in Haiti to get the foreign exchange they need to import. But as I always say, the model is broken, we have to fix it, because everybody is buying, importing in dollars, selling in goods, and expecting naturally the central bank to provide dollars, and which is a totally impossible equation, with a stable exchange rate. So
No.
you can understand that my spot is not easy. So this is the external gap.
Right. And I should just say, we're running late on time and have to get the rest of the panel. So if you can explain the other gap, and then
The other gap is
promise them some optimism too.
Okay.
I just want to mention that.
the other gap is the fiscal gap. Because when the government doesn't find the budget support, it affects a lot of programs, social programs in infrastructure. It affects also fiscal discipline. But the good news is that we've been going. I heard a lot of initiatives which should bring optimism. For instance, the moringa that Mrs. Chelsea Clinton just talked about, which is going to be on in Whole Food. I just saw what's happening on apparel, etc. But I insist on the centrality of growth because I believe that we can grow. And if this country has to double its GDP per capita, we are growing our population at close to 2% a year. And I believe that on the health part, we should make a lot of efforts to try to reduce this pace of growth of the population. But look.
Right. And you were explaining to me, Haiti needs like China level growth for a long
9%.
time.
We have to grow at least at 9% to have a 7% net so that we can double our GDP per capita in 10 years, which means that should be our agenda now. And for this country to grow, we need focused, consistent public policies. Public investment, we should be used as a leverage for growth. Let me give you an example.
Actually, because that's exactly what we're going to talk with the panel about. So let's integrate that. Mr. President, would you like to talk before the panel?
No, but I will. No, really, first of all, thank you for your service and for what you said describing the situation. Former Prime Minister Lamont, thank you for making it a joy to work in Haiti. And in spite of I can honestly say, and I think everybody here on our working group would say, there is not a single solitary investment project that I took to Haiti was ever asked to do anything improper to do business there. It was made more easy to do business. They were treated in a straightforward way, and that means a lot. And you deserve a lion's share of credit for that, and I thank you for that. I want to thank all of you who've been part of our working group, especially our friend Denis O'Brien, who has been a lion on this. The iron market should be either renamed the O'Brien market or he should be renamed the Man of Iron. I think I want to thank the Swedish Postcode Lottery, Artie Rebin, David Crane, thank you. Thanks to all of our partners and Paul Farmer, who helped to get me hooked on this so many years ago. Look, we just got to stay with this. It is getting better. And I really thank you for that, for saying that. I don't know what's going to happen in this election year, all I know is if the politics don't make it worse, good things will happen. And if the politics makes it better, good things will happen quicker. And I think that's what you were saying. In an indirect way, being the central banker, you have to appear to be above the fray. You were quite good at it. But there are people here who didn't know anything about Haiti to speak of when we started this working group, who love this country and are still working on it. And I'm really grateful. And there are people in this room who have not yet been particularly active, but know someone who is. So I want to urge all of you to listen carefully and find an opportunity to help keep rebuilding the country. As you pointed out, we're trying to make up for lost time over the last 55, 60 years. But it can happen quickly if we do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. President, I want to ask, politically, the strategy of refusing to take a compliment and always pointing out how you actually haven't done the job and there's so much more work, that doesn't seem like a good political strategy, but it's a very honest central banker strategy. So, yeah. All right, we're going to start with the rest of the panel, and Charles will stay with us. Alix Cantave is a program officer with the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. He grew up first 14 years in Haiti, then moved to my hometown of Brooklyn, and now does a lot of work in Haiti's agriculture sector. Someone named Denis O'Brien. Oh, Denis O'Brien. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay, great. No introduction necessary. David Crane, who we just heard about, President and Chief Executive Officer of Energy, and he's going to talk about some exciting renewable energy products. And Marlène Sam, who is the Haiti Program Coordinator of Net Hope, which it does something that I think a lot of people would imagine would be impossible to do in Haiti, which is train people to work in the ICT sector. Dennis, I thought we would start with you, and David, I'd be interested in your thoughts here too. A conversation Charles and I had yesterday is that, and I think this will be a theme of the conversation, is that ultimately for Haiti to thrive, for Haiti to get near double-digit growth, we're going to need people like you to not put money in Haiti because it feels good, but to put money in Haiti because you make a lot of money putting money in Haiti. And we want Haitians to feel that way as well. Actually, Dennis and David, I'd love to just hear from you, since you do both. You do philanthropic work, and you also do hardcore, profit and loss statement investment in Haiti. Where is that transition from needing philanthropy to actually having return on investment, actually being a place where you can make real money?
I think there's a whole pile of opportunity. It's the land of opportunity in my mind as an economy, because first of all, the government are welcoming of foreign direct investment, so there's no them and us as such. And there's opportunities in agriculture and large-scale agricultural projects, light manufacturing, tremendous tariffing advantages, particularly for apparel between Haiti and the US. And anybody, I keep on telling Europeans, and Europeans they're not, I wish they were more like the Asians, they need to be braver. But, there's real opportunities to go in and set up manufacturing, just-in-time manufacturing, if you're covering the United States and servicing the US with your products as such. So I think there's opportunity. I mean, the people are extraordinarily talented, hardworking, and rapid learners, and we've seen that. And everybody wants to develop themselves and do better for their family. And when you have all those ingredients, you've got everything in place for a foreign direct investment surge. And we've seen the example of what has been created in Caracol as something very, very special and unique in Haiti. And it's really done a tremendous amount of work so far.
Although, as Charles will tell us, there's something like $100 million in foreign direct investment a year, and there's this $3 billion gap. And so, David, why right at this moment, as I understand it, your work in Haiti, and it'd be helpful to just quickly describe what your work is, but your work is not, it's not how you make money. It's not how you return value to shareholders. You said it's the most rewarding work you do, but you meant that emotionally, not financially. So explain why that is.
Well, I mean, I guess I would disagree with you a little bit in this. I mean, it's true that we started in Haiti after the earthquake, mainly putting solar power on other people's schools, orphanages, hospitals, and so it started as a charitable effort. I mean, has it been we have a slightly unusual way of supporting Haiti. Our company's approach to our charitable giving is highly employee participatory everywhere, including in Haiti. And what I would say to you is maybe it's been rewarding more than emotionally to me personally. I would say that every NRG person that's gone down to Haiti has come up back to the United States a better person and a better employee of the company, more creative, more resourceful, more appreciative of what they have. So it has been rewarding. It just hasn't been rewarding yet in a for-profit way. Having said that, we've learned so much in terms of doing sort of the charitable work we've done there that we see the opportunity that Dennis is talking about. I mean, Haiti has enormous energy resources that are there to be used for the benefit of the economy, and we want to start down that path.
You mean water, wind, sun?
Yes. Basically those things.
Yeah.
So
no secret oil.
The coordinate. Well, you never know with. But no, not talking fracking in Haiti yet. But no, I mean, so I do think that there's and everything that Dennis said also. I mean, when you go down there, you're just so impressed by how hard working everyone is, and so. I mean, one of the great things about coming to this event is you see all the people that you usually see, in at the Latin Quarter in Port-au-Prince. But so it's like a New York reunion. But also, if there are people who are here because they're new to Haiti, I would just sort of say, particularly corporate sponsors, give me a call. I won't bore the whole group of Haiti veterans with things that they already know, but it really is something that everyone should think about getting involved in. And one of the basic things, I mean, is almost every time you hear like the worst story that you could about what it's like to be in Haiti, it turns out to be not true. Like, I mean, one of the things they told us at the beginning, the minute you put solar panels, they'll be stolen, the next day. And, the first solar panels we put were out in the Central Plateau. They're not overly protected other than by their own community. And we haven't lost a single, solar panel to theft or anything. So one good thing that you learn about there is the worst stories about Haiti is just never true. So, but you have to go down there to find out that that's true.
Marlène, one of the keys to economic growth, we know, is human capital, having a workforce that has the skills and ability to do work that others are willing to pay a lot for. Can you talk a bit about your work and some of the barriers? I mean, in Haiti, I would always hear the joke that there is a thriving middle class, a Haitian middle class. They just live on Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn. They don't live in Haiti. And the work you're doing is kind of jumping up a level. A lot of people have talked about human capital in light assembly, textiles. You're jumping up a level.
Well, thank you very much. A project like mine or programs like mine, because I have several ones, tend to make people stay in Haiti. I grew up out of Haiti because my father left Haiti, and I grew up in Africa and in Europe. And I think it's very important to keep Haitians in Haiti and to give them the opportunity to contribute to the development of the country, which is very normal, which is a tendency of young people. They would like to start a family and be empowered to start a career in a place where they've grown up. So ICTs are very important, not only as when we start the program,
Let's define ICT. Sorry,
yes,
you said it, but I realized
yes. Information and communication technologies. And it's helpful, like it was when our program started immediately after the earthquake, because communication was key for emergency relief and even assessment of the needs, etc. Today, it's even more important to support the growth Charles is talking about. the young people we are training, we are helping to begin a career, they somehow discover how much their skills in computer science or in ICT-related fields can make them contribute to resolving the problems of their communities or of the organizations they're working with or of whatever has to be done as a project.
Great. And Charles, we're going to go to Alix, and then I want to, the question I'm going to give you, which we'll get to just so you can think about it, is there is this gap, this $2.9 billion gap, and I want to talk about why is that. I agree with them, there's a lot of opportunity, more people should go down, but why is there that gap? But Alix, one of the themes of this conversation today is agricultural investment, and that's the focus of much of your work. Can you talk about Haitian agriculture right now, and what are the gaps between, in a country where more than half the population makes their living from agriculture, but is adding very little value, or at least retaining very little value from their work? Why is that? Why has the rest of the world had this agricultural productivity revolution, and Haiti's been left out?
Sure. I mean, I think one can begin if you look at the Central Plateau. Since we talk about the Central Plateau, you're looking at let's say a peasant, a farmer in Boucancari, by Millau. I know Paul knows that area very well. It takes there's no transportation. So if you can visualize if a smallholder farmer in by Millau, in higher land, higher up in Boucancari, for example, very remote area, they're planting peanuts, let's say, because I'm going to refer to Nourimamba as well. So let's say they're planting a crop that the person, they're responsible for every aspect of that production chain, right? From plowing, seeding, and harvesting. Then they got to take that to the market, okay? So you take it from the market, from by Millau, you have to work. Usually you're carrying the product to the main road, to the market, either the market in Cange or the market in Mirbalais. So there's all this cost involved in that process. Once they get to the market, there's no guarantee that they're going to sell that product, okay? So what happens if you don't sell it? The last thing you'll want to do is retrace those steps back by carrying that product up to the mountain to do what with it? So there's a disincentive. If you just look at that trajectory, there is a disincentive for the smallholder farmer to produce, because there's no guarantee of a market. And that's true in most crops, including poultry, for example. It's also true for fishery. So it's true for almost all the products in the agricultural chain. That has to be fixed. So that's one part of the equation. How do you fix that? In addition to that, again, going back to the peanuts piece, why I think Nourimamba with Zami Agricole and Partners in Health, Zami La Santé is important. So once you have all of that, where do you sell it, right? Big question. The second part of it is there's an issue of premature harvesting. Okay? What is a premature harvesting? There are certain key points when a family in Haiti needs money. September, right? The opening of schools. First communion, around May. Holidays, Easter and Christmas. So along those times, the tendency is to pre-harvest. So you harvest prematurely. So the crops that you're harvesting is not at its optimal, so the quality is less. So what does that say? That says that the farmers, or smallholder farmer, needs financial capital, working capital, to be able to add more value in the product. So they need market and they need financial capital. The third aspect of that is also around technical assistance. How do you go and you see how do they work, the crop that they have, the quality of the seed. So all these things are extremely, extremely valuable. So how do you begin to address that? One, I think, an example of a Nourimamba, which is what the Partners in Health is producing that ready-to-use therapeutic food for children. It's treating malnutrition. But that's not only what it does. It also creates a market for small farmers, small producers of peanuts in that area. They don't have to worry about selling it anymore. There's a market. So with that, then you begin to have what's happening with the Clinton-Goodshaw Enterprise Partnership with Acesso. So they're now working with the smallholder farmers to provide them with technical assistance, buying the product from them. So then, what I'm saying is you have to create value in the production chain. Without that, there's really no real incentive for the smallholder farmer to produce. There's another element with this, which I've learned. We went up to Manish, and I have a colleague here with me, Dana Francois. We went up to Manish, that's up in the south, and we were meeting with different farmers there. And every group we were meeting with, somebody have lost someone in an accident, right? You know, as I was driving back to Lekai, and I'm thinking, what's going on with that? And I don't know if people pay attention to that. There's a high level of public transport accident in Haiti, very high. Just to illustrate that, about a few weeks ago, there was this huge accident, I think, in Milo, or in the north. 17 people died. 15 out of the 17 were women. So not only that, there's no value, you know, in terms of the production chain itself. The women who are responsible for taking agricultural product to market are very, very high risk of their own lives. And that has to do with, you know, with the risk of public transportation. So I think when we were watching the video, when Anne was talking about, you know, and you see those trucks overloaded, most of the time, many of the people in those trucks are women. So in addition to, you know, the lack of value in the agricultural production chain, the women who's responsible for carrying the stuff to market are also at high personal risk.
Charles, you and I were talking yesterday about two key words: risk mitigation. I mean, you made the point to me that private investment in Haiti, which should be bigger anyway, 0.5% is in the agriculture sector in a country where the majority of people live in rural areas. Can you, I mean, that seems like such a stuck statistic, such a depressing statistic. Can you talk about that and risk mitigation?
So depressing that former Prime Minister Laurent Lamotte wanted to establish an agricultural bank for financing agriculture. We had some disagreement on that, but we won't elaborate on that. But the fact of the matter is that agriculture needs financing. We had a lot of discussions, Denis and I, on that. But all the stories we are hearing here, I thank you for this video on Haiti. And what I heard, again, it's lack of coordination and consistency between the NGOs. So we have to be very granular in Haiti. Because my biggest conviction, after being a macroeconomist working for the central bank, you know, we talk about inflation, stability, but people don't go to the market with inflation very low. People need revenues. People need jobs. And we have to be granular. When we take a sector like agriculture, we are talking about value chain. We have to say to ourselves, what does it take to make it happen? And 70%, allow me to give you the story, my own experience with credit. This former Prime Minister, I have a chance to be with him today. First day in office, called me, insisting, credit is not enough, you know, the central bank doesn't care enough about credit. All the time you're talking about stability, etc.
This is the standard Prime Minister central bank conversation in every country in the world.
And I can tell you that he is a very energetic, and also he has an edge. He's younger than I, so. And I said, Laurent, you have to understand the problem of credit is not the financing part, It's the what you're producing and the risk associated with it. We took the loan to deposit ratio. The average of the Caribbean is 60%. So when you take the loan and you take all the deposit of the banking system, the average of the Caribbean was 60%. Haiti was at 29% in 2010. We brought it up to 45% today. And for 3 years, credit increased 79%, an average of close to 35% if you compound it annually. But you know what happened? Given the economic structure of the country, and given the lack of risk mitigation, the credit was directed to what, normally? To commerce.
To consumption, to buying things.
Exactly.
Not
Import,
investing.
commerce, consumption. And it actually exacerbated the current account problem because people kept just buying, importing, and expecting to find dollars to import again. Why? The bankers are evils? No.
Some of them actually are.
Well, but the problem is that when you take agriculture, apart from what you just described, and which is very instructive to me, Alex, there is a clear lack of insurance, of credit insurance for agriculture and crop insurance in agriculture in a country which is doomed to suffer from more natural disasters. So when you talk to a banker, and also Alix talked about the pre-harvesting and the causes of it in terms of events and moments in the year where people really need money. I would add also a funeral. People spend a lot of money in funerals in the poor rural areas. So we need definitely, when we are talking about using public investment, be it government or NGO money, to leverage private investment, this is a clear area where we need some support to establish insurance schemes so that microcredit institutions can play their role without compromising their solvency, and so that Haiti can really grow. And we need also for agriculture clear trade policies, because you have a crop and we suffer from a lot of unfair competition from goods crossing the border, goods not paying their duties, etc. And our producers are getting some hit. And we have two very important pieces of strategies in Haiti, around which we can have some consensus, both from the local community and the international community. This is, first of all, way before the earthquake. President Préval had a presidential commission on competitiveness. And it was based on the model, the model of Rwanda, and they came up with a strategy on competitiveness, where the sectors were identified, where Haiti can gain and maintain competitive advantage. And in 2014, President Martelly launched the National Strategy for Financial Inclusion. When you took those two strategies together, they give you together a roadmap where everybody can come and pitch in. Because you can see, it's very glaring, the key institutions, the key mechanisms which have to be in put in place so that Haiti can go. I'm looking at Mr. Ranieri in front of me. And how many times I heard this name coming to Haiti, trying to make it happen because he did Punta Cana, etc. When I look at Côte de Fer, for instance, Côte de Fer cannot happen spontaneously. This is where we have to focus. Government has to focus and have the necessary public investments so that the private sector can step in. And also, we have to say one thing which is fundamental. Haiti needs also for agriculture a rural police. If you give me 1 minute,
Oh, I have.
when I'm saying rural police, this is because we are too timid in putting into question the inefficiency of Haiti's democracy. That means that when you see the weight in the budget of the political institutions, we just created 20 more deputies, representatives. This is a country we need money to invest in the fundamental institutions of the Republic. And I believe that Haiti can be, with your help, with some more intelligence on our part, we can have a very cute and nice democracy, but much more efficient. Much more efficient. So that we can invest more in our police, in our judges, in education. I heard a lot about education, vocational schools,
And
etc.
we only have a couple minutes for the panel, and then we are going to open it up to questions from the audience, and we'll all get to talk a little bit more. But Denis, Charles talked about these two pivotal documents. How coordinated now is the Haiti Action Network? Are you in line with those?
Well, look, I think, I'm a very hopeful eyes when I look at Haiti, because when I see, where the country's come from since 2006 when we went in originally to make an investment and where it is today, and you hear people's commitments to the Haiti Action Network, the work that Marlène is doing, the Kellogg Foundation, extraordinary work. There's tens of thousands of great things happening in Haiti on the ground, okay? And it is moving the country in little degrees every day to being a better country. And I think the advantage that Haiti has is that it doesn't owe a whole pile of money to creditors outside of Haiti. Whereas a lot of the countries in the Caribbean now have zero growth, and they have, debt to GDP of 80 to 100%. So that's a real challenge. So on the positive side, I think Haiti, if we can get more investment on a foreign direct investment basis and attracting that investment. I come from a country that was an economic wasteland in 1960, okay? And I can see what foreign direct investment did for Ireland in moving it. It was like the country came on speed, okay? Then our bankers took over in the 2000s, and we all went to a bit of a crumble. But on the other hand, that's the gyrations of an economy. But there are real opportunities in Haiti for light manufacturing, bringing people in, investing in those facilities, and agriculture is really where I believe it's going to happen over the next 5 years. So, my friend here, he's done his projects over there. He's now looking for an opportunity. Is there a commercial opportunity in Haiti as well? So, there are CEOs of big companies in this room who can, with a blink of an eye, go back to their boards and say, we should set up in Haiti to supply North America instead of getting our products made in China or Vietnam or anywhere else. So I'm just so positive about Haiti. And that's why when I invest in a country, I never read any World Bank reports. I mean, they're anathema. We ban them completely. And I know everybody's looking so inward, but I think there are great advantages. And, to be fair on Charles, he's done a great job in steadying the ship. Otherwise, there would be no opportunity. But you've got to look on the outlook side as well.
And Alix, and we'll get to the audience, but Alix, I'd be curious. It seems like there is some low-hanging fruit in agriculture. That if you look at the United States, which of course was a subsistence agrarian country that became a wealthy industrial country, some of the infrastructure, the insurance products, the risk mitigation products, a system of co-op warehouses and silos so that people can time shift. They can sell their grain in the future, but get the money for it today, or vice versa. It seems like those kinds of fairly standard, basic, 150-year-old market mechanisms, that just seems like that would be enormously useful. Is that possible now? Is that something that you're working on, others are working on?
We're not working on that, but on the agricultural insurance piece, I know that Frank Jose, I know Matthew is sitting there, tried that a few years ago. I don't know, Anne, you probably can talk more about it. But the issue of any insurance policy is that it's based on probability. And it's the probability that you're not going to have 100%, loss, right? Or people asking for the money. So I think what happened when Frank Jose tried that, I don't know if you guys can probably, so in 1 year, right, everybody who bought insurance, basically they had 100% lost, right, because of a hurricane, right? So hurricane does not discriminate, right? So they wrap out the crop. So how do you come up with an insurance policy that will take account this kind of risk, which is not common?
If you're in a giant country like the U.S. and
That's
you're in
right.
Iowa, it's not as big a deal.
Yeah, but to go back to this issue in terms of how do you begin thinking about that, one of the things that the Kellogg Foundation is thinking about, it's very similar to, I think, what Prime Minister Lamar and others was trying, is how do you create an investment fund, right, that would then support agriculture, in particular smallholder farmer. And as we were talking about earlier, it's really to think about what's the role of philanthropy, right? In the case of Haiti, I always try to make the difference between NGO and philanthropy, because there's a tendency to lump everybody together as to we're all doing the same thing. We're not. I think it's important to think about what is the role of philanthropy in a place like Haiti. As we were saying earlier, philanthropy, I think, it should be the first mover, innovator in certain sector, and take higher risk. Whether it's in education, whether it's in health, agriculture, I don't think philanthropy can sustain systems over time. Philanthropy has to come in, make the initial investment. At that point, it is the responsibility of the society, whether the government or the private sector, if those investments make sense, to then continue. I think what we're seeing, and I'm sure that's what's happening now with the Digital Foundation in terms of the school, it's happening with us in terms of the Kellogg Foundation. I know it's happening to others in the room in terms of what we all are doing. We have to see philanthropy as a first mover, right? We could seed stuff. Then someone else has to come in behind the philanthropies and take it on.
Which is a risk mitigation strategy. In and of itself.
And that's what we don't see.
All right, we're going to have time for a few questions. I'm going to say what I say at every Clinton Global Initiative that I am at. You know how at every other talk you go to, someone stands up and they don't ask a question, they just talk about how awesome they are and they give you their whole credentials? Let's try and avoid that. Let's focus on actual questions and discussions about Haiti. Is Eitan Stibe here? Oh, Eitan. Dennis asked me to call on you first because I understand that you have invested heavily in Africa. You're thinking about investing in Haiti, and Dennis thought you would have some insights into what is and isn't attractive about Haiti. I think also, just between you and me, he wants to guilt trip you into making the decision to definitely invest in Haiti, and that's the job of everyone in this room. So,
thank you. The potential in Haiti is huge in agriculture. Today, most of the food products are imported either from the US or from Dominican Republic. What we do in Africa, we support farmers to become productive excuse me, by seeing their needs. So the area of the sector we invest in is not so important. We do fishing, grains, eggs, poultry, any type of agriculture. And we create an industrial center, agro-industrial center, to support the farmers to become more productive on a commercial basis, not philanthropic. We believe, a bit different than what you mentioned before, that the leaders should be the people that have an interest, that come in with a commitment and build things that are based on a commercial basis, because that's the way it will be sustainable. So just for example, we're building a dairy, a big dairy in the center of Uganda, where they grow the cows and they produce the milk, but usually they would sell the milk, bring it to a collection center on the back of their bike, send it to Kampala, produce cheese, and get it very expensive back to the land. So we are building the dairy in the center of the production of the milk, of the growing of the cows and the milk, and we'll produce everything there and then export final products to the capital and to neighboring countries. And we're doing this in partnership with a local farmer.
So can you explain how Haiti looks to someone who's done this successfully in other less developed countries? Is Haiti the same as those African countries, or are there things that are more or less attractive about Haiti?
They're very similar. I mean, the need is there. We just made a big review on a banana plantation in the north of Haiti, and the potential is huge to export to Europe, to export to other countries. Some government assistance is required in order to supply energy, water, and all the rest is on a commercial basis.
Right. All right. Toda lecha. Let's go to questions. Who has questions? Yeah. Right here.
I admire and I compliment the governor of the central bank for his very solid remarks on Haiti. I have a question regarding the 700 million deficit that you seem to have in current account after you take into account your diaspora remittances and the other the exports and whatever else through tourism or whatever other sources of foreign income that you have. Has Haiti suffered greatly the downfall of PDVSA and the Venezuelan economy and its ability to help sustain the Haitian economy as it has in the past?
Yeah, definitely, because we used to get that financing for Venezuela. And we still receive most of our petroleum products from Venezuela. But because of the fall in the price, the financing part has dropped tremendously. So in terms of public financing, we have lost part of that financing for important projects. But the other aspect of it, in terms of PDVSA, is that let me put it another way. We have the financing from PDVSA. And at that price level, the financing part went to 20% or 25%. That's what it is, at $45. But also, today, the Venezuelan does provide all the petroleum products. Certain types or certain grades, we have to go to the spot market to buy them. So that's what's going on now for the moment.
The ability that you had to sell oil at a higher price and collect cash from the economy, now has disappeared.
It has diminished. It has diminished a lot, and also we had a lot of subsidies in terms of energy.
Great. All right. Yep. 1 second, there will be a mic.
Thank you. Yes, my question is for Marlène. I'm involved with literacy programs. That's my second life, as I say. We're talking about making every endeavor here eventually sustainable. I find that the work is so immense. How can one eventually conceive of making a literacy program sustainable when people basically have nothing, and it doesn't seem like tomorrow when we'll be able to get to schooling every Haitian child? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very much concerned and working in my work with students, university, higher education students. but I know the problems, and there are a lot of projects for the other education aspects. And my commitment here and what I'm doing is to try and make sure that the young students of today, the graduates of tomorrow, or the young IT professionals can help and find solutions. In this respect, for instance, recently we were in charge of another project which was funded by USAID to produce digital content for the first graders in Creole using the interactive whiteboards. This was done thanks to the combination of a number of skills from different people from different age, which was very interested. Interdisciplinary team working, mixing, how to call that, professional, qualified and experienced content developers to very young ICT infographists and graphic designers. So my approach is they can be very helpful to combine and help multiply whatever effort is being done by using technology, by using applications, by using the computers, by using the telephone applications and everything. In order, and I wanted to mention how much when it is important to see that the young people, the young professionals today can help to know exactly what the needs are in order to make whatever investment is done by the government or by any other organization, how much this is impacting, how many people really need it, how many people can really get something out of it, benefit from it, and how to measure it, because this is what is going to make people to be much more optimistic, because not having a good idea of how many people were being helped, how many people benefited, how many people learned to read because they had the chance of, does make a big difference, because you have the impression that you're moving forward. And a program like what I did with the Net Hope Academy gives me that impression. I saw young people ending university, starting a career, getting to a job place. They've never been in a work environment. They've never been in an interview. They started, they worked for 4 months somewhere in, they went one, I remember, who was relocated for his internship in Cap Haitien. He'd never visited the Citadel. I told him, if you're going there, I need a picture of you at the Citadel. He was based in Cap Haitien, but the second weekend he was there, he went to the Citadel, and I saw the picture. And this guy, he's still working in the north, but he was not originally from the north, but he's in the north. Someone went to La Gonave, others. So they are staying here, they are staying in Haiti, they are developing the capacity, they have their own network. I was telling Mr. Castel, I have 2 former Net Hope Academy beneficiaries working at the central bank. They can do georeferencing, GIS mapping. One of them became an expert because we had a seminar in the program, and it was on GIS mapping. And he just loved it, and he saw it, and how much we need that in Haiti. It's something that all organizations need. So there is, hope for that. And it's very slow. And one thing we mentioned here very often is the sustainability of whatever we're doing. Net Hope Academy, if I may, just 30 seconds. We were funded, we had a lot of supporters from Haiti and from abroad, Microsoft, Accenture, and Fondation Voila, etc. Now we're trying to be sustainable. What we do is to be creative, organizing some seminars which are needed in Haiti by corporations in order to fund the new students, the new programs. So it is possible, but we need to think about it from the very beginning, about the economic model that is behind whatever we're doing. Thank you.